Hello everyone and welcome back to the Minecraft project world. Okay, so let's hop right in. Switch the game mode back to survival there we are. Yeah. So guys, what I've done is I've cheated in some seeds. These are them over here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a look at these. So what I've cheated in, I gave myself 5 seeds, 5 melon seeds, 5 pumpkin seeds, 5 beetroot seeds, 5 cocoa beans, 5 potatoes, 5 nether warts, and 5 soul sand. This basically is all the farming you can do in the game. There are carrots, of course, but I'm not too worried about carrots and stuff like that. That tree literally just grew. I'm not too worried about sort of carrots and things. I think the main sort of stuff that I am worried about are melons. I really want to have melons. Music's a little loud. Let's change the music options quickly, just to sort of shrug it down a bit. Come on, music, down you go. There we are. So that's a bit better. There we go. Okay, so these are cheated in, so just be aware of that fact. We're going to leave those there for now. Alright guys, so today's project, I want to get rid of this whole ridge bit here. Yeah, I want to get rid of all of this ridge. All of this ridge needs to go. And it's pretty big, it's a fairly large one, but I think we can get it done. There's a very easy way to do this, a much easier way than most people realise. We're going to get rid of this big ridge and that little ridge there, just to give ourselves a bit more breathing room. And then we're going to get started, if we have time, with some of the planting of stuff. Because eventually, the way I want to make this base is I want a flat area to work with. We might extend out the this flat section that we're on here, so further down to the beach. But we won't. I don't want to extend the beach out any more than it already is. So then once we've got all these sort of farms on this flat area, then we'll double height this to make a sort of tower right in the middle. And then what we do is we'll build a floor, a very large floor slash ceiling. It'll be a ceiling for this one, so double height, and then a big ceiling that covers basically the entire island, so that we can have all the farms growing underneath, and on top have a wide living space which we can work in, which I think would be really nice. But for now, we have a specific project to do. So what we're going to need to do we're going to need some more stone, and we're going to need quite a bit of it. So I'm thinking maybe, let's see, I'm thinking maybe, I'm probably going to need about 20. Yeah, so let's, again, so just quickly for the hotbar guys, map in slot 1, sword in slot 2, stone axe in slot 3, water bucket in slot 4, stone pickaxe in slot 5, slot 6 for a shovel. I like to have either a shovel or torches in that slot. It doesn't matter which, and I'm happy to switch between the two if and when I need them. Then I have a building block space. So when I just need a block to build with, like this dirt, for example, that's that. And then we've got a counting slot. So when I'm like gathering a resource, I can watch that going up, so it gives me some idea of how much I've got of it. And once it hits 64, then I know I've got over a stack of that item, which is usually enough for me. Okay, so let's dig this out. We just want to get, yeah, 25, that's fine. Okay, and then we're going to chop down our newly created tree here. We do want to get all of the leaves for it, so again, when I'm counting stuff, I want to have that slot there, so, and it just makes it easy to just count what's going on. So what we're going to do, and the way you deal with big trees, and the easiest way to deal with big trees, is get all the bits you can get out of, and then just pillar up with all the wood you've just taken out, all the way to the top. And that will start despawning some of the leaves. Right, and then what you can do is just dig around the level you're at. What we're looking for are wooden logs. That's the main thing. We're just looking for logs. It doesn't matter about leaves and everything else. We're not trying to clear the leaves, because the leaves will despawn. So I can see some logs here. again, just look at the ones on your level. Okay, so we can see these logs here. We're just looking to destroy the logs here. And they sort of weave out in branches, so you never know where you're going to find one, and sometimes you can find them, and they'll be like all the way like over in the side somewhere, and it won't make any sense why there's just, like for example this bit, there's nothing attaching these to the tree, but that's fine, as long as there's no logs, because it's the logs which cause the leaves to stay where they are, and once you've destroyed all the logs of a tree, it should start despawning all of them. And it basically uses a tracker to see, am I near to a log block? If I am, don't despawn. If, however, you are, it is near a leaf, if there isn't any leaf blocks, they will start to despawn. And when they despawn, they have a much higher drop rate for saplings. So just leave that, and you'll gain the saplings that you need. Munch, 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 munch. Okay, so we're going to turn these logs all into wood, because we've got a big project to be doing today. Okay, so what we're going to do to start with is we're going to get rid of this. All of these need to be turned into wood. Okay, and then we've got, what, 25, so I'm going to make 10. So I'm going to make 10 shovels, so I'm going to need 20 blocks there. So any additional wood, I like to keep wood in planks. I think that's just the best form to keep wood. So never just turn everything into sticks or whatever. Just leave planks. Planks are very, very useful and can be used for basically anything. So that's fine. So we've got 20 sticks, 25 cobble. So we're just going to make as many of these as we can, which is going to end up being like 10. Okay, so when I'm doing a big project, or just working in general, for inventory management, what I like to do is to just make 2 bits like this, and then put the replacement tool on top of it. Actually, you know what? I don't even want that. I want this like this like this, and then this like that. Okay. And then these can all go along the top here. So it's out of the way, like so. So then what I can do is, if say this stone shovel, breaks, so there's nothing there, as soon as it breaks and I'm like this, I can just go like this, and then just move up 1, and then just hit Y to quick move. See? Easy peasy. And the same goes for these side bits. I can just quickly move them into place as well. So as soon as this one disappears, then I just grab one of these and do that. And you can just see how quickly it just naturally just flows down. Okay, so it's getting dark. And even though we're playing on easy, I'm just going to sleep for the night. And in the morning we need to get started. Okay, so we are going to need some food. And happily we've got some stuff cooking from the last episode, so we'll keep that. Anything else in there? Yeah, some iron. If you don't have a direct use for something, plop it back into the main inventory there. If an item's in a chest, then you won't. Then it will never be lost. Especially if you turn mob griefing off, which I have done. So we're going to go out here and we're going to collect these saplings, like so. All right, so I'll show you the method that I use for clearing. So what I do is I head to the top. Stand on top of a block, and I do it layer by layer. So then I do this one, and again layer by layer. So if you want to make it a bit easier on yourself and reduce the amount of movement you have to do it in a sort of line until you make a straight line, and then just keep moving in that way. Try and be robotic in your movements, so be very efficient with your movement, and it will just go quicker than that. There we go. Just clearing it out. So set yourself up in a good position to get most of it done. So I'm going to go right in the middle here, like this. And then I'm just going to go along. When you're being efficient with movement, it will just go quicker. And so let's turn around and do the same thing. Okay, so it's broken. So just very quickly take the top one off there. There we go. Just getting rid of it. Very, very efficiently. Clearing out all of this dirt. And it's, as soon as you flatten one of these out, you'll be amazed just how much space it gives you. This is just the small one. So when we get the larger one done, we're going to have even more space to choose from. And this is the whole purpose of the world, of this like project that I'm doing, is it's a long-term project as we just sort of incrementally change what's going on. So these guys are taking a little while to despawn, but that's okay. It might be because they're within another one of these, which is fair enough. So we gained a lot of dirt that way. I don't want that like that. Okay, so once you've already got a stack, it will allocate things randomly, but you can force it to allocate properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, no, you're not going to allocate randomly. I'm going to give you a space to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place dirt, 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 dirt. Okay, and now what it's going to do is it's going to put dirt on top of that, and dirt on top of that, and on top of that. It organizes itself, so you can force the game to do your inventory management for you. Now, with a larger one like this, what I tend to do is I, again, try and be a bit more robotic in my movement. Now, I do want to fill this in. The reason I want to fill this in is because I don't want to just fall through and have the occasion where I fall through. I don't want that to happen. Also, if I fill this in now, it gives the dirt time to form grass, which is the main deal. For me, at least. And whenever I'm just using an item as a building block, I like to have a stack of it, if I can. So there we go, that's all nice and flat now. And soon, the sun will just completely erode that. Okay. So again, working in straight lines, this time we're going to use a different method. Okay, we're just going to try and get rid of dirt and go in a single line. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to look down as I do it. So as I'm pushing forwards, it's destroying the dirt in a line, and then as soon as it destroys the block in front of me, I can move off. So I'm just quickly blasting through all of this until I meet an obstacle that I can't get past. And then we can do it again with this. That's fine. Just get rid of that block. So again, trying to be as efficient as possible. Whoa, yep. I knew that was going to happen eventually. And now we're blocked in. Okay, well, that's easily solved. Just build a way to get out of there, in case we need to. So let's just destroy a few more of these bits. And just work around the edges. That's the main thing. That's all you can really do. And try and go as far as you can with each bit. You want to get rid of as much of the dirt as you can, and then we'll switch up tools and try and go for different tools. Okay, so we've broken another one. That's fine. Doesn't matter if we break tools. The point is we're trying to get this done. And because we're using stone tools, there's no limit to how many stone tools we can go through. And that makes them the most efficient tool to use. Because if we've got to go and use diamonds and stuff like, yeah, we could put efficiency 4 and stuff like that. But you can only repair them a certain amount of times. So we've broken all the way through, which is nice. So now, again, we're going to do the same thing. Just try and get as far through as possible. We may even go all the way through here with this as well. So there we are. Okay. So we are going to need to fill this in up to a certain point. So we use the edge there, and the edge there. So you can't place a block on the floor, but if you aim at the wall of this block, you can place a block there. So you can use that to go past your build limit, because then the game's like, oh, okay, he's trying to place a block there, that's fine. And this is okay. Filling in down is the easiest. And all we're trying to do is just get to... no, I don't want that. What we're trying to do is just level out the ground to a set bit. So what one are we on? So we're on Y65. So we want to make this whole area our Y65 plane. And by doing this, we're going to have a lot of space to work with, which is fantastic. Now, the point of making like a long line like this, of actually breaking through, is we can again use that efficient way of breaking through blocks. So, minimum amount of movement possible, so you have the smallest amount of actual player inputs to get the maximum effect. So we're focusing on the dirt. We're focusing... Sorry guys. We're focusing on the dirt first to get rid of the most amount of dirt possible before switching up the tools. I want to leave literally just the items which I can't remove with a shovel, and then and only then will we switch up the tools that we're using. So again, using that efficient removal of blocks. And it might seem like this is a very long and arduous process. It's really not, and the payout that you get from it is just so worth it. So let's do this. Keep going. So again, it's all about that efficiency. If you can make it efficient, then you're gonna have it easy. Okay, so look at that. Very, very good. So again, let's try and make a line going through. It might get blocked off by stone, but that's okay. If we can make a line going through... No, we can't. Okay. Let's go in some other directions. There we go. That's that one. So we built a line that way, which is very, very good. So now we can again use that efficient removal to get rid of as much dirt as possible in the shortest amount of time. So we're getting a lot of dirt here, which is good. Dirt can be used in many ways, but is usually the best placeholder material you could put down because it's easy to remove. As you can see, it's very, very quick. You can remove it very, very simply. You can place it very quickly, and it works great. Later on, you can build huge structures out of dirt just to see what they look like as placeholders, and from there you can then make the decision, do I like that, do I need to tweak something, change it, and then you can do a lot of that. A lot of sort of sculpting is done in stuff like dirt and gravel, so that you can then remove it. The problem with sculpting in gravel is that gravel has to follow gravity's laws, whereas dirt doesn't have to at all. So what we're going to do is again being as efficient as possible, removing as much as possible. So let's grab another tool. And you can see how we're going through tools, but it's okay, because we basically can grow tools if we want to. Tools in this game grow on trees. And then just maximum efficiency, removing the maximum amount of blocks per range. Okay. So then these we can get rid of. Now that we've got a lot of these down, we can get rid of a lot of them. So we're just trying to remove any blocks that we can still remove. And we're just trying to reach them, so we can just destroy some of these as well. There we go. Eventually we are going to have to dig out a lot of stone. There's a lot of stone that's going to have to be dug out. I like having completely grass floor... like dirt floors that have been turned into grass by the sun. I like that. I think it looks really, really natural, so that you can't tell that anything's been sort of played around with. So now what we want to do is again try and be as efficient as possible. Just make a line going through like this. Okay, so there appears to be a larger sort of space here, but that's okay. I just want to break it off here, so there's no connection between the two. At a later date, we might then go and destroy that one, but I'm focusing now on doing this. So there's a lot of dirt that we've still got around here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make space for even more dirt. So you can see how it's not just flowing around my inventory randomly. I'm forcing it to go into specific areas, which is good. That's really good, in fact. So again, efficient removal is the key. So we're just going to go little movement as possible to get it done, holding down the trigger so that we can just get it done really quickly. And you'll be amazed just how fast it goes by. Still having problems with my throat, guys. This is like the second week of throat problems. Not too happy about it, gotta say. There we are. Okay, so let's find a way to get back to our house. So we've dug out a lot of it. Like, as you can see, we've really sort of struck the heart out of it. Yeah, that's a little way in case we fall in. Let's go back in and sleep till the morning. Okay, now that was what I was worrying about, and I was trying to make sure that didn't happen. Okay, so we've got mob griefing turned off, so that's fairly good enough. Obviously this guy had spawned in, seen me working over there, and was slowly creeping in, so that's fair enough. Eventually we'll have enough subtle lighting where mobs just won't spawn at all. I feel like there's not much reason to have mobs spawning in our project world. Obviously I want them to happen because, well, it's important, but yeah, that is a bit of an annoyance to happen actually. So there's a very good defense against that, in that you just cover your entire sort of hut in fences, and you build them 2 out, so that a mob can never get within sort of explosive range of you, and then you build an airlock as well. Airlocks work pretty nicely. Okay, so what we want to do, again, get rid of any dirt on the sort of middling level here, because we're going to be working on that, but we just want to get rid of all the dirt we can on these sort of floors. So I'm going to build another line to go down this way, and then we can just work to remove each one as we go. And we can use this line, this will be okay. So again, just destroying it here. This slime is going to slowly work his way towards me, so I'm just going to put him out of his misery there. So we're just, again, just as efficiently as possible removing this stuff. So guys, today's episode I'm going to extend out to 45 minutes, just so that we can hopefully get this entire thing done. It does take a while to do, but with efficient removal you should be okay. So you're always just thinking that in a robotic way, you know. What's the smallest amount of effort that I can put in to achieve the maximum amount of effect? So again, just checking to make sure we're not overfilling our inventory with stuff. So I'm going to stick some more blocks down so that it can fill that. I mean, don't go too overboard with the whole efficient removal, you know. In some cases, if there's just a block there, get rid of the block, you know. That's fair enough. It's easy peasy. So like this one, it's in a row, so I can just go along in a row like this, and then we can just come along like this. So just angle your tool so that it just gets the job done. So I go for a diagonal there, and that works fine. So all this dirt is handy because it means that we can create farms and stuff like that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to remove any sort of ceiling parts here. So again, it's the same sort of business, we just make a line going along. And again, we're just going to make lines going along. To remove ceiling bits, you kind of have to do it this way. So move slowly as you go. So make sure you're just doing a sort of slow move. So it doesn't matter if you're not always destroying a block in perfect sort of movement. Just make sure that you're not outstripping your movement, because if you move too quickly, look, like I'm not even destroying blocks. See? I destroyed like a couple of them. So I'm just holding the trigger down, moving slow enough, and I'm just clearing blocks out of the way. Efficiently removing blocks that are above me. Just moving in straight lines. See that one? I don't need to move in a line to remove. And this little lump here, not needed at all. So again, I'm just going to do it. Just going to do a sort of slow maneuver above me so that it removes that. So this one, it's not even worth trying to set up a line to go through it. Just destroy it freehand. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy this, and then I'm actually going to jump up so that I can go in a straight line like this. Just so like I can get that out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make a space that we can stand up in. So then we can do some more efficient removal. Not having to move at all. Just staying on top of the stone that's in our way. Again, just focusing on that efficiency. Get that efficiently out of the way. So all of this space is going to give us tons to sort of maneuver around in. just setting up again for just space for efficient removal. It's okay. So we've already got, well, we're coming up on 12, whoops, we're coming up on 12 stacks of dirt, which is fine. Dirt's fine. If you have loads of stone, I recommend just cooking it up into, stone up into smooth stone, because it will give you lots of XP just cooking it all up. But I wouldn't recommend, I would wait until you've got to the nether first to do that, so that you can then use buckets of lava, which are extremely efficient because they can cook up to 100 individual blocks in a furnace. So yeah, let's just stand on top of here and just act like a turret, destroying everything we can in range. So just moving every now and then just to... let's take in some new blocks. These ones that are higher up are kind of annoying, but we'll get them down. We'll get them down. So I can just make a space up here. Where I can just sort of freehand around and just remove all of these blocks. It's very, very easy, very efficient. And we're getting this little sort of space out of the way, which is the main thing. One moment. Okay, let's just keep on going. So we're just trying to get rid of these last few blocks. We're getting there, we're getting there. I mean, it's taken us, what, nearly half an hour to get this done, but it was a fairly significant sort of mound to get rid of. I think it was about 20 blocks by 20 blocks, so yeah, we've removed probably about 1,000 blocks. Well, not 1,000, like 20 by 20, what, so that's 400. Yeah. Removed over 400 blocks. That's still pretty impressive. Like, we got over 10 stacks. Yeah, we've gone over 600 blocks so far removed, which is pretty decent actually when you come to think of it. So now I'm just sort of freehanding it. I'm not aiming for efficiency at all. I'm just trying to be constantly removing blocks. In that old Pac-Man way, it doesn't matter which way you're going as long as you're getting things done. And as long as you're, well, with Pac-Man you kind of have to do it slightly more strategically. Let's just do it level by level. Get these out of the way. Yeah, and then we can just get some efficiency back. Aim the tool properly. We should be able to just remove 3 blocks with the slightest nudge. We're getting it done. We're on the final straight now. Then what we'll need to do is we'll need to make more sticks, and then we'll need to get rid of all the stone. The stone shouldn't take too long. As I said, guys, the point of the project world is to incrementally make changes to the world around us that benefit us but also fit the aesthetic of the world. So I won't be building too crazy stuff, and I'll try and build out of wood where I can, because I like building out of wood. I think if you build things sort of organically in this game, it looks, you just get that payoff when you look at it like, oh yeah, that works. You know, and try and be subtle about your lighting. Don't try and change the lighting of the world too much. Obviously, at night, any kind of lighting looks amazing, but try and subtly hide it. Don't just spam torches everywhere, because if you do that, then you just end up with a world that just looks like it's been stabbed, like with tons and tons of needles, and no one wants to play around in a world full of needles. I see these massive bases, and then you look at people who you know, every now and then put a sort of pumpkin lantern down and they hang it from a hut, and you think, you know what, that looks so fantastic and wonderful. Why does anyone ever use torches? And then people sort of use recessed lighting where you can't actually see the torch, but you know that it's there because it's lighting up the world around there. And yeah, it just looks lovely, you know. So let's do a total count of all the dirt in a minute. We will do that, of all the dirt that we've removed. Yeah, pretty efficient, I think. So let's have a look. In total, let's see, that's 6, that's 12, that's 16, 17 stacks. Wow. No, because that's like that. So yeah, 16 and a half stacks, well, exactly 16 and a half stacks of dirt removed. That's pretty impressive to get that done. We've done that very, very easily. So now what we need to do is we need to hide this dirt away, because we don't want to keep carrying around all these stacks of dirt. So let's just go. Later on, I'll be building a what I call an item library, so that there's some organization, and that's a 2-stage process. The first stage is by organizing items by type. So yeah, I think we'll probably just take this, turn this into the maximum amount. 32. We have any more? No, that's fine. And then just spam these guys out. That's probably enough. And then just put these two here like this. And move them into the sort of tool category here. Put the spares on top of each other always. And then we've got a nice big space to put stone in. There we are. Actually, it's getting night time, so let's sleep. Yeah, so we've got about 15 minutes left, guys. 10-15 minutes left just to get this project done, which means we're probably not going to have enough time to fully make some farms. So what I'll do is I'll just start off and see what I can do. So stone takes a little while to remove, and we also have to remove any stone flooring as well. So it's going to take us a little while. I don't think we're going to get a chance to set up the farms today, which is a bit of a shame, I guess, but there's nothing I can really do. I'm loath to try and do these projects too quickly. I think the joy of stuff like this is when you take your time with it, so that when you look at something that's really impressive, you think, wow, that is days, weeks of work to get to that level, and that's the real enjoyment I find. So I just sort of freehand move these out of the way if I can. I don't try and do it in any sort of efficient manner. I just get them done. I suppose you could just do this, and then you could start doing this. So again, getting that efficiency back, I suppose. So efficiency is very important when you're clearing out wide spaces. You know, you need to do it in an efficient manner. Otherwise, you're gonna feel like it's just taking too long. Because the thing that kills big projects more than anything else is just player apathy. If you don't feel the project that you're working on, you don't see that you don't have that sense of achievement, then you aren't going to enjoy it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little space of 4 there for any additional stone that we have. I don't think we're going to have too much issue with it, but just in case, you know, because it might look like we're almost done, but we've got all this stone floor to move out of the way as well. Stone can't grow anything on stone, so I'm not interested in it. What I am interested in, though, is having lots of dirt all the way around, and I don't mind the natural sort of changing of biomes. That's fine with me. Later projects will be all about biomes. I think if you're trying to build projects in your world, then at least try and build projects for a purpose, you know. There are some things that are just aesthetically nice to look at, like pixel art, for example. Yeah, it's very nice to look at, but if you never walk over into your pixel art gallery that you've built, there's no purpose to it. Okay, so it was difficult to build, but you built it, and then you leave it alone. I like to try and build things that are functional as well as aesthetic, and my architecture that I build in Minecraft is always more functional than it is aesthetic. If I try and make things look nice, and part of any sort of project is what I call detailing, which is just after you've finished, sort of adding in little touches which just make all the difference from an aesthetic point of view. Hi guys, sorry about that. Had a slight recording issue there. I think my microphone got unplugged, which kind of freaked the Elgato out just a lot. It's happened before. It just dislodges the microphone, just gets a bit dislodged, and then it completely destroys the project file that it's trying to create. Okay guys, so we're almost done here. We've got about sort of 8 or 9 minutes left, so we're going to get rid of most of this stone, and then what we're going to do is we're going to lay down some more dirt. I'm going to try and get this done in an efficient manner. We've got a lot to get on with, got a lot of dirt to lay here as well as stone, but it has really opened up this area. As you can see, there's loads of space here, which is really, really nice. I'm happy to see that. So yeah, efficiency here is key to getting this done. So yeah guys, if you are working your own projects, try and do them efficiently. That way you won't get bored halfway through and quit out, because the only reward you get from these types of things is the end product. Okay, that's your reward. If you give up halfway through, then you've wasted all that time. And just like there is iron in Minecraft, we only have finite time on this earth, so use your time efficiently. You know, get as much done, get as much of that rewarding, victorious feeling as you can, because that's the true resource of life, I think, is our rewards. Rewards are just the best. They're what we want to aim for. We have aspirations, goals, dreams, and we want to get to those. So just don't give up on them. If you don't give up, failure is one thing. But if you don't give up on those, then at least you have the knowledge that you did your best. If you failed, you failed. There's at Google, they have a motto for everything they do, okay? And that motto is fail faster, okay? So they try and be as efficient as possible with any idea or project that they work on. They try and be as efficient as possible and try and get to that failure point as fast as possible. Because a project is either a success or a failure, it's never anything else. So if you try and fail as quickly as possible, and I mean, I'm not trying to sort of say like try and sabotage the project or something, but if you work your hardest and you work in the most efficient manner to get to that point where the project is either a success or a failure, then you can move on. Because if a project is a failure, as soon as you fail and you want to keep working on it, then you step back. You isolate why you failed, and then the next time you try, you won't fail. And that's just how it works, really. And it works really, really good. So we're just going to remove some of this extra stone whilst we're here. And we're going to replace this with lovely dirt. Come here, dirt. Not really sure why there's this stuff here, but it's on the same level that I'm at, so I'm happy to start filling it in. So we've got a fairly large area that we now need to fill in, but we do have a lot. Oh, so we actually ran over us. We almost ran over there. So I'm going to bring a few stacks. So let's, come on. There we go. So let's take one of these. Yeah, that should do it. Again, food is important because we're in survival. So I like to build my projects in survival. The only reason being that if you're in creative, then yeah, sure, you laid down all that stuff, but you don't get that same sense of, oh, I achieved this whilst in survival. Like, the whole I built it with my bare hands type of thing doesn't really apply when you just had a pocket full of infinite resources and you just put them down. Whereas if you use tools to excavate that large area and then you use tools to get a resource and fill that large area in, like, you've accomplished a lot. Like that, you built that with your bare hands. It's the same sort of sense that you get if you live in a house that you built yourself. Like, that is thoroughly your house. Whereas in an ancient way, the person who built the house is the person who owns it. At least I see it that way. So if you don't like actively take part in the building of your house, then that house was never truly yours. You moved into a house that someone built for you, or in some cases you moved into a house that you like the look of, but it never truly was yours at all. You see what I mean? From a sort of spiritual type, from a sort of in a spiritual way, that home wasn't yours. And the same thing applies to these things that you build in Minecraft, you know? The things that you build in Minecraft, they should be yours, and to make them yours, build them yourself. So this project world, I want it to be this fantastic place which is just full of lovely little touches, but not aesthetically, functional things. So I like to build sort of bridges and transportation systems and stuff like that, all in a way that, yeah, looks nice, but is mainly function. So I'll make a mine underground, but I'll also make it into a sort of railroad type mine. There'll be mine carts down there and stuff like that. Hey, how'd you get? Come on, dude. For real. Okay, guys, that's about it. So we've cleared it all out. There's where it was. We've cleared out that whole area. There we go. Lovely amounts of space on the island now. So now the island as a whole doesn't have... so let's get up here. So now the island doesn't have anything blocking it, and we've got a lot of space. So in the next episode, guys, we'll be farming. But there's only one more thing that we really need to do to finish up the episode, as well as me going into the editor and putting the two parts together, thanks to the failure recording. We need to put down some more saplings. If you want more wood, you need to grow more trees. Words to live by. So what I like to do is try and be, again, functional but also aesthetic, by not putting tons of trees next to each other, but by spreading them out. Especially in this new area that we've got. I can't wait to start growing things in it. So we're going to start having trees which are just going to grow all the way around our base, which we can use as resource. So as you can see, guys, this is a lovely way of playing the game. It's very organic, it feels great. You just sort of expand out on what you've got, making your base just that bit better every single time, making your world just that bit better. So we're going to leave the cheaty resources in their cheaty box for now, but in the next episode, guys, we will be making our farms. I'm going to be showing you, again, from an efficient point of view, I'm going to be showing you the most efficient farms that you can build. Oh, hello, Mr. Enderman over there. We'll be building those efficient farms, and they're going to be great. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Minecraft Project World, and I will see you in the next one.